But yeah, maybe this one feels different. I know it does, but I don't know if we have the words to say it yet. I don't know.
It feels different.
It feels different.
It feels different.
How are we feeling back there? It feels different?
Doing good back here. Yeah.
Hi, Kara.
Hi, Kara. Everybody say hi, Kara.
Hi, everybody.
I think if you're good, she may come this way later on. We'll see, but she's back there for right now. Okay, so Lost in Translation comes out last June. How do we get to here now, like just over a year later?
Yeah. A lot of change and a lot of figuring out like the why and the what a little bit. I think there's in a lot of artists' careers, but specifically in bands' careers, I think everyone kind of goes through their little quarter-life band crisis where there's a point where you're like, okay, if we're gonna keep doing this, what are the absolutes and the things that we can't compromise on? And a big part of this record was us being in a room and holding so much love and appreciation for each other, but being like, okay, if we're going to continue to do this, we have to put our most authentic version and ourselves out there, because that's all it's about, I think, at the end of the day. And I think it took us a long time to return to what sparked this whole thing in the first place. When we first started making music, we didn't think, we just made. And I think when you get thrown into the vortex that is your music becoming a product or becoming something that people have to take ownership over, that's a really scary exchange of emotions. And we just had to check in a little bit and go, okay, let's go make something because we have to, not because we want to. And yeah, maybe that's where that came from a little bit.
And the best place to do that apparently was the mountains of Tennessee?
Yes,
the Smokies.
The Smoky Mountains. The good old Smokies.
45 minutes south of, what's
Dollywood? Gatlinburg was
Gatlinburg. Yeah.
Lana absolutely loving Dollywood.
Yes,
in the back.
Lana knows what's up.
Just around the Knoxville general area. You know?
Hell yeah. Yeah, we went away. We're a very destination-oriented band. I think environment and where we create, I think, affects a lot about the songs and just how we process and sponge everything. And yeah, it was almost essential too. I think January of this year was like the hardest year for us as a band, and we had to, again, it was that band in a room situation, conversation of like, okay, if we're gonna do this, we need to go away, reset, and just figure out what this all means. And there's no better place to do that than in the Smoky Mountains when you're literally around nobody. We had like no service.
No internet, no service. I was on the roof adjusting some dish.
Alex was our tech guy trying to fix
What do you mean
things.
was? I always
You are, yeah. But yeah, I think we've always kind of operated that way.
And the fact you came out of those mountains is there's no banjos on the record. I
Yeah.
Probably a win. It seems very deliberate.
Hell
So the name of the album, of course, Water the Flowers, Pray for a Garden. The significance of that, that phrase, where did it come from? Because it seems like, especially like the first track, it's a very central theme.
Kara, you take this one. You say this beautifully, and I love when you talk about it.
I just want to say, the birds are above me, and I'm realizing that they are also pooping.
They're above me too.
Which is kind of crazy. But it's like little tiny little poops.
They're just mini
little
poops.
poops.
Just no words, just little ones.
So it's
Yeah, it's
fine. But I was like, what is all over my hi-hat and like stuff? And then I was like, oh, it's bird poo, yeah.
Sick.
It's okay though. It's lucky. It's album release night. I think that is why.
This is a million copies week one.
No, I think that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Little Poops also possibly
Little
the name of the
Poops.
fourth album.
Yeah.
Little poops.
Keep that in your back pocket.
At least a song.
Yeah.
At least a song.
Love it.
But if you could, the name of the album.
This is the album, yes. The name came from the song, because we had the song originally hidden away in a Dropbox for about 3 years. And we discovered it when we were touring, rediscovered it, and kind of fell back in love with it, / we were ready to put it out, because sometimes you're just like not really ready to put out a song if you know it's special and you're not really in the headspace or whatever. So we uncovered it, blew the dust off, and we decided that we wanted the album to be called that. And then we wrote the album, which we've never done before. Usually the album name and the concepts all come after the songs have been written, but it was something that, it was a sentiment that really resonated with us in the time period we were going through. So we just felt like, let's use this as a North Star and then kind of have everything sort of trail back to it. And then we made a garden album. I don't know, there's a song called Mosquito, Let It Rain. Like, it's just, it all became this like very thematic thing. But yeah, basically the sentiment, water the flowers, pray for garden, is just like, you look at a garden as like a metaphor for like someone's life, and you have the weeds and the pests and the flowers and the dirt and like all these things, like these good and bad things, or subjectively good and bad things, and only till you kind of step back and you're on your knees watering those things as you go on through life, and it's only when you step back and kind of look that you see this actually beautiful garden. It's kind of like only seeing one pixel in something and then zooming out and being able to see, oh, it's a picture of a dog. But yeah, that's kind of where we were in life, and I think it just takes time to see the garden, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Did anyone see Valley last week with the beaches? Yeah?
Fun.
Absolutely unbelievable. That was,
Oh,
guys
thank you.
crushed it. It was great.
Thanks.
What did that night mean to you and your friends, the beaches?
Oh man, it meant everything. I remember before that show, I was talking to someone, maybe Lori, their manager, and it was just like, we were talking about just like growing up, you had this, there was a sense of camaraderie in Toronto between artists, but it always felt a little bit edged. And I feel like we're in a time right now where there's just so much of it naturally happening. Like, we played a show, but we also hang out all the time, and it's so cool to cross those worlds, and they've inspired us so much, and just have had such a beautiful year. And it's just so much greater when you achieve goals with your friends. Like, that's the point, I think, beyond everything. So it just felt like kind of a homecoming for them, and we were just a tiny little piece of that tapestry, and that just felt so special. And Dizzy too, they're just incredible. They're all just homies, like they're all just pals.
Such
so
a fun
it's,
lineup. We're so
it's
lucky.
just, it felt like prom night for us, an end of summer like prom night. It was